So I initially conceived Repeat about 1.5 years ago. Sat in, there's this thing called the Jack Kilby Centre. It's our little local centre of trauma and studying. I was sat there with the guy who ended up doing the VFX for this, PD. And somehow one thing led to another, and us two kind of started losing our mentality a bit. And we started conceiving an idea for a film, because PD originally started with Violation, one of our other short films. And PD's always been heart set on making a film on the battlefield. So with Violation, we weren't capable at the time, so we made a little urban style action film, which was easy enough to do, didn't have too many requirements, etc. And it only first became feasible in our minds when we met one of the cast, Joe Martin. He actually applied to help with the film Violation too late for the film, which is ironic. And he unveiled this whole world of airsofting in Fife that we were completely unaware of. And then when we found out about this Fife War Games site and the things that they do there, they do airsoft, and I think they used to do paintball, but they don't anymore. What they do now is they kind of get together every couple of Sundays a month or something like that, and they get out these airsoft guns, like replicas of real guns and everything like that, and they shoot the crap out of each other. And they all come completely geared up, looking like the real deal, looking like actual soldiers, which is exactly why a filmmaker would be interested in this kind of site. So as soon as we found out that was available, and he explained that they would be more than willing to get involved with a film with us, we decided it was time that we try and make a film that would be on the battlefield, as we always planned to.
I wouldn't lie if I said I wasn't worried before it, because I thought to myself, well, I'm kind of, how could I put it? So I didn't really know what you guys were capable of, what the special effects were going to be like. And I thought to myself as well, I'm going to have to really try and act to the best of my ability in it as well, and try my hardest to be a credible Sergeant Beasley for you guys as well. And the vision that you gave me about the different effects and the different situations which were happening and what was happening in the actual story, I was thinking, God, I hope this is going to be really good. If it's going to be good, it'll be brilliant. If it's going to be bad, it's going to be awful. And in the end, it was, when I saw the screening, I was actually, for the day's filming and for the actual budget, you know, I thought it was incredible. I thought it was sensational.
We got in touch with the Airsoft guys. We'd written our script, and they invited us along to their site up in Fife. I went along with my VFX guy PD, my 3D guy Zach, and our driver/assistant director John. The purpose being was to go there and find out, 1, if it's possible, 2, how we're going to do it, and 3, where we're going to do it, and 4, who we're going to use. So on the day of the recce, that's when I got presented with an intimidating room of 30 mercenary looking types, all stood around with guns, just kind of giving me that disgruntled kind of, you know, I could kill you if I wanted to look. It was then that the co-star Mitchell Bell, who played Rooster, and he's one of the marshals there, so everyone kind of listens to what he says. So he decided to get involved not only in acting, in organising the rest of our cast for us.
I'd never been in any sort of things like this before, and to be honest, the way that Charlie controlled us as airsofters were a bunch of idiots. We like to muck about, and that's just the way that we always do things. So the behind the scenes stuff was all, you know, they just let us do what we were doing. That was all cool, but as soon as it came time for the actual filming, obviously we had to knuckle down and get it done, because Charlie was really enthusiastic about it. We were quite enthusiastic because reading the script, it sounded awesome, and wanted part of it the day that he came up. So I think the main thing I learned from my first ever was really the professionalism that they had. I was just down to the simple clapper boards and stuff. I was just like, this is brilliant. Exciting. You seen all the equipment we've got? Pretty cool, eh?
What, cameras and shit for filming? Aye,
On Repeat, I was the assistant director, and yeah, it was the first time I'd done something like that with the clapperboard, and it was very, very exciting. I was very impressed with Broken Blonde. It was the first time that I'd really properly worked with them, with us. And yeah, no, I thought that the team worked really, really, really well.
When you're doing it, you know, like getting shot at, and then you see it actually on film, the bullets sort of getting flayed about, and you know the actual sounds and stuff like that, it was just put together. It was totally awesome. It was really, really good fun. And Bobby was there. He's like a professional actor, so he was on hand to give us any kind of hints or tips or anything like that. Hints and tips that we needed to get. On the other side of it, we were there for Bobby, you know, holding the guns and stuff like that, just looking like he knew what he was doing. Getting him dressed, unfortunately. Bobby, I won't forget that.
It's like I was kind of like a one-man war machine. What you were learning, like grenades, knives, you know, just staying in a time machine, and when all these things were just getting sunk into my head, and then learning, like say, the craft, the art of warfare from the likes of Mitch and Mel, you know, and all those things in my head on that day, it was just like, it was interesting, because they were telling me all like about war and like how to use their weapons. You would tell me about the actual vision in this film, and I was like, okay, right. Next thing I was thinking, well, someone's going to tell me next there's going to be dinosaurs in it, and someone's going to tell me there's zombies coming out from somewhere, and you know.
So it came to the actual shoot day, and we got there. I had my shot list ready. I had everything ready. It was an absolute headache getting everything all organised and together for the day. And then I found out on the day that half the cast, all the bad guys, all the guys in black, wanted to. It was a game day because that was the only day we could use the site, and they wanted to play for half the day, which I wasn't. I didn't know that until the day. So my entire shot list that I just written out and organised everything to a T just went threw it over my shoulders and had to reorganise the entire day off the top of my head. We ended up getting all the bad guys first, so we went boom, 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 let's get every shot with a bad guy. Not every scene, every shot with a bad guy first. So we went shot, 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 shot. There's actually a shot, you can see the difference, where there's a shot where Beasley's shooting at some bad guys. He jumps on the floor and then throws a grenade away. And he turns around and shoots these bad guys. The shot where he's shooting the bad guys was taken 6 hours before the shot that follows it, where he turns around and gets shot. 6 hours difference between those two shots because of the organisation that we had to pull off. It got to a certain stage on the day of the shoot where literally my brain was jelly. I seem to remember Heather asking me what it was I was filming, and I couldn't even remember the name of the film. We are filming, I don't even know the name of it anymore, my brain's come out. Repeat. Yeah. We're filming Repeat. Probably one of the funnest moments of directing for me was a particular shot when two of the bad guys needed to die in the alleyway, and they were at the end. And one of the guys said, he says, do you want to cue them with a pistol? Because usually I say bang, bang. You can hear it in all the sort of like unedited footage. You just hear me going bang, and so I'm going. But in this particular case, the guy said, he said, instead of cueing them with a word, why don't you cue them with bullets? Explosion!
I think the cast, the crew, under quite difficult conditions, actually worked really, really, really well. The wind was unbelievable at times, and the weather was fighting against us, but we fought against it, and I think we won.
Yeah, I'd put a special thanks out to the crew if I'd thought about it at the time I wrote the credits. But the guys that were there on the day, literally all of them, like Swiss Army knives, each one of them had infinitely more tasks than they should do on an actual production, but because we didn't have enough cars to deliver crew to the set, we had to deal with the bare essentials. So we had our sound guy Nick McEwen, our cameraman Ollie Benton, and assistant director was John Patty, who had to deal with my reorganization schedule and all that kind of stuff. He dealt with a lot of shit that day. I'm not gonna lie.
Scene 3.8/3.12/3.10.
And then of course our sort of production assistant Heather McGregor, who who sorted out, like, she sorted out so much for us. She got all the paperwork signed and everything like that, and got us, like, she basically fed us. She kept us living for the day. So it was tough. It was tough, but everyone pulled through. And the car journey home was a quiet one. Everyone was sat wedged in this one car just going... It was one of those journeys where you know you've done well, but you can't be asked for celebrating.
Broken Blonde, it's like fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The whole team, the whole crew, the whole actors in it. Everyone just had done their bit to make it into like a smashing film that is. It's a short film, but it's like, I reckon, I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. You know, I've not exactly, how could I put it, set the heather on fire yet in Hollywood or anything. I mean, I do have ambition, but I reckon that's one of the best things I've ever did. I mean, I've been in some great shows, I've been in some great theatre plays. I mean, I won a few awards one year, the Evening News, won an award for One Act Play Festival at the Churchill. But I mean that was probably one of the best things I've did, and it was just not just because of my character, but because of the people I was working with, like yourselves, Broken Blonde, and obviously with the lads in Fife and that, and it was it was a great experience. And you know, if Beasley ever wanted to come back, just give me a shout.
All things considered, it was a good film. It worked out all right, and I think we kind of outdid ourselves in terms of production value. I think it's got a really sort of, it's a heavyweight in terms of production value for a student film. I mean, you could put this up amongst I wouldn't exaggerate and say Hollywood, but if you looked at the budget in comparison to what you see in the film, it's a substantial difference in comparison to films that are actually out there being released. People are using the same effects we used, and it would cost millions of pounds to make that film, and we managed to make one for essentially nothing.